So good morning, everyone. Today we have Mr. Aneel Kumar Bonu, who's a startup entrepreneur himself and has a lot of experience in HR domain. So Aneel, you kindly uh, speak a little bit about yourself, and then we can start with the presentation. Yeah.
Thanks, Rajiv, for a quick introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anil. I am working as a HR tech professional since last 2 decades onwards. I do have two firms owning. One is consulting firm, another one is my own startup, which is in a talent Spotify, which is driven by AIML based employees performance review, rewards, and recognition platform. So today we are going to talk about how artificial intelligence helps in startups, especially how we are going to use leverage a startup as a startup entrepreneur, how we are going to leverage the artificial intelligence, and what are the new things in artificial intelligence can be used in a startups. So this is the main agenda of today's topic. So let's go with one by one on this one today. So first of all, we want to understand what is AI. AI is all about artificial intelligence. We know that one. But what is that one? It's a kind of a branch of computer science that deals with creation of intelligent agents. And it is going to be artificial intelligence works alone without anything on this one. The fuel is required for any artificial intelligence is data. So artificial intelligence is always works with the data, which is going to be understanding. When we are talking about artificial intelligence, we should be always, there is another term which is associated, which is machine learning. What does it mean by machine learning? Machine learning is nothing but it's a kind of a, like, the data will be analyzed, whatever the data you will be having it, the data will be analyzed in terms of a patterns, and based on that, the machine learning, whatever it is, the machine learning identified data patterns. From there onwards, artificial intelligence will help you out to make a quick decision on this ones. Like, it is a kind of, especially artificial intelligence will be used mostly in a predictive analytics in terms of a business analytics perspective. There is something called as a predictive analytics where artificial intelligence will be used, where it will give you a data insights where a human cannot be go into, like, he has to spend a lot of effort on this one. Rather than that, artificial intelligence will give you the consolidated efforts in terms of a data perspective. And at the same time, there are multiple ways of artificial intelligence available. One is a natural language processing, which is called as a NLP. Another one is something called as, we are having it as a deep learning, which is having as a deep understanding of the model using a machine learning part. And out of that, what is that? It is mainly for the AI. It is having as a high potential. It can be used in any applications of AI. And today, we can see any application. If you can see that one, it will be having as a AI is always behind that one. For example, take any example. For example, if you are taking an Amazon, if you are purchasing any product, the moment you purchase a product, it will give you a suggestions automatically. It will be available. How? Because they are using as a capabilities of the artificial intelligence and cognitive capabilities they are using, and they are just showing it to you. This is what actually you purchase. You may be interested on these products also. Similarly, like for example, if you are watching a Netflix, the moment you watch a movie, then it will be showing it to you in the down is a recommended movies on this one. That means the moment, whatever it is, the way you are observing, like, or whatever the way you are consuming the content from the platform, then based on that, what will happen is automatically system will be in the background, the algorithm analyzes and predicts this is the way of patterns you are liking. Probably you might be liking an entertainment movies, or maybe you might be liking as an action movies. So based on that, it will give you a recommendation based on that one. So it will observe the pattern, that is nothing but of the data what you are just consuming. That is where actually it will help you, that AI will helpful. Okay. It is not only these industries, it can be, you take name any industry, there is an artificial intelligence. Now it is already there. Maybe 5 years back, we were talking about it, artificial intelligence will come and all these things, but it is already there today, because today it is an adaptive uses on this one. Now, how AI can help in startups? There are few things like, there are certain tasks where it can be done as an automation on this one. Like, especially, for example, today we are consuming a lot of content. For example, digital marketing, you need to have a certain content, you need to give it to the, you have to post it into your social media handles. So you don't know what kind of a content needs to be created on this one. So you can just ask about your startup, and you can ask like, is it latest tools like ChatGPT, Google's bot, these kind of a tools where you can ask the prompt saying that one, hey, this is what actually my startup. Let's take an example. Your startup is all about EV industry. Then you can just ask that, okay, what kind of a content I can create it as a digital marketing. You just write it out, what is your startup context, and you ask them about the digital marketing content. Then automatically you will be getting a response. Based on that, it will create an idea. It will give you as a basic skeleton kind of a thing. Okay, these are the possible things that using that you can create your own content on this one. And also it helps us in improving in terms of a decision making, especially like, when you are having is a lot of data which is coming from that one. Let's take an example. If you are using as a B2B startup, then you are selling out various B2C. Let's take an example in terms of a B2C. If you are selling as any e-commerce industry, you can observe that one, what kind of a items are very fast moving, and why it is moving, what is the pattern of the consumer behavior pattern. Everything you can understand from this kind of a AI part, and where you can do that one. And especially you can personalize based on that one, based on the decision part, where you can personalize to the customer what kind of a products and services you can provide it to them. Let's take an example. If any user using as a no broker, I'm just giving an example as a no broker. If somebody wants to go for a no broker for renting a house, like, they want to just need a rent a house in Bangalore, let's take an example, or Delhi. You take it out, and using a no broker, you use the services, and you figured out, okay, these are the houses I figured out. Based on that, especially if the user is searching for the 3 BHK and so and so, like, let's take an example, 50,000 is per month is a rent. Then based on that, and maybe a certain location, especially I'm just looking into near Pragati Bhavan. I'm just looking at the houses on this one. So near to that area, it will be observed whenever any new property is posted, automatically an alert will be posted. Similarly, once you use their services as a no broker, and once you have finalized the property and you agree for the rent, then if you are from another city, then immediately the next service you are going to opt out using as a packers and movers, where it needs to be move your items to the new rent on this one. Obviously, because you have rented it, you have taken a rent for the new house, then definitely you need to move your stuff from one place to another stuff. So that is an automatic service which will be recommended automatically to the customer, saying that, hey, just use our packers and mover services from one city to another city on this one. This is one of the example I'm just quoting. So you can, using AI, you can personalize the services on this one. That will give you a lot of additional upselling will be happen, or cross-selling also it will be happen on this one using AI. That is where actually you can leverage as a startup. You can leverage that using AI, and based on the data, you can do that one. And how to get started on this one? Let's take an example. If you are a startup, there are few things that you can do to get started with AI. First, you have to identify what is the problem that AI can solve for your business. You have to very clear and crystal clear about that, what problem I have to use AI to solve this business on this one. Let's take an example. We have taken out an example of our startup. We have taken, especially as an employee's performance reviews on this one. So during the performance reviews, most of the employees are just having as a managers are giving as a subjective ratings on this one. Like, okay, if any employee likes them, then they will give it as a good rating. And if the employee mess up with the line manager a day before appraisal, and they give it a different rating. So it's a kind of a subjective pattern. So rather than that, we have used artificial intelligence, saying that one, we are going to ask certain questions to the manager, and based on the manager response, we are understanding the pattern, and we will be analyzing the pattern. Same questions, whatever the manager is asking, the same questions will be asked to peers, and we will understand the pattern, what manager's response and what peers average pattern response. If there is a difference is there, then we will highlight the case to HR. So that's our use case of AI over there. So that's how you can just figure it out, what is the exact AI use case in your business related to that. And also there are a lot of tools are available nowadays in AI related stuff, and where you can use it. For example, Azure is having its offering its own cognitive capabilities. For example, if you are just processing any invoice automation on this one, let's take an example, you are receiving an invoice from the external party, and where you need to process that invoice. Generally what will happen, invoices will be receiving either through email or maybe through any paper kind of a thing. So it is a very unstructured format of the invoices will be coming up, because each company is following their own format of the invoice, right? So if you are using some sort of OCR capabilities, optical capabilities over there using Azure, then what you can do is you can always identify what is the invoice number, and as well as what is the invoice amount, who is the supplier. Based on that, you can create an invoice automatically using your AI capabilities in your EVS or maybe in your ERP solution or whatever your financial solutions. You can always use that one. And also it is a very important to build a resource. Skillful should be there for the AI, because it is very difficult in the today's days to get a good AI and as well as ML developer, especially as a good data scientist who can understand the deep technologies on this one. So it is always important to build a right team who can use the tools of your AI, and as well as who can come up with the new ideas how to implement the AI also on this one. So it's always better if you are building as an in-house team, it's better to hold them on this one at certain things. Or if you don't have in-house capabilities, better give it to this piece to be outsourced, especially this piece. But I suggest if your company is relevant to the AI, related to AI, you have to build your own team which is having as a AI capabilities on this one. And second thing, AI will not, the moment you implement AI, you will not get the results, because it is always the fuel is required as a data, which is nothing but of AI is always requires to work it out on the data. So it is a complex technology. It takes some time. Once you have a good amount of data, then you can see the fruits, what is actually AI can do that one. Okay. It is always like, as it's a complex technology, it takes always sometimes to see what is exactly giving you as a AI result on this one. Okay. What are the major benefits of using AI? Okay. First thing, your efficiency, what you are currently using, that will be increases. Let's take an example. You are currently, the one is the example on this one. Like take an example, you hired an intern, whomever it is going to draft sending an emails to particular customers, or maybe you are just preparing a digital marketing content, you are just hiring an intern. So rather than that, you can use a chat GPT or bot, you can create your content where it will be useful for you as a assistant, content writer assistant kind of a thing, where you can just grab that one, use that tools, and instead of using an intern for doing a digital marketing content, you can focus, you can ask them to focus on more of technology content on this one. So your administrative work will be drastically reduced, and as well as your increasing of your efficiency will be increases, and as well as it will improve the accuracy also. At least there are some human errors will be there, but whereas here you don't have it, the chances of human errors are very less compared to that one. Of course, as I mentioned, like you can use a resource instead of using administrative resource, you can use it as a technology resource for the same budget. So it will help you out in terms of reducing costs, especially that will be using as a, your customer experience will be enhanced, because you are providing a personalized and as well as a customized services. So that's the reason your customer satisfaction and your customer experience will be drastically increases. And also it will also helpful for you as an increasing of innovation on this one. So especially in terms of AI will be helpful for the startups, increasing of innovations by creating a new products and services that were not possible earlier. So that's where actually, let's take an example, the example what I have quoted in a no broker. If the person is taking a rent, if any customer is consuming their services for the rent, then automatically the AI capabilities will be suggesting to them what is the next movement of the services. Package and mover service is going to be helpful for that. So that's how it is going to become up nowadays. For example, AI used in everywhere in entertainment industry. Let's take an example. in terms of PVR cinema or something like that. Take an example on this one, cinema halls, like they are giving us a complete experience is a different experience. What they are doing, the moment you book a ticket, they are going to offer you based on that, like, this is what actually you just take the ticket along with the popcorn, along with this point. So they are just understanding, they are giving you as a much more offers based on that, what is your pattern of consuming their services on this one. And there are a lot of challenges also there in the AI startups. One of the thing is the implementation cost of AI is bit high, especially for the startups, because startups will be having as a very limited budget with the limited resources. So they may not afford the high cost implementations on this one. And second thing, the skills, which is nothing but of currently the challenge is AI is currently grooming out, and we don't have the skills capability of the talent which is currently available in the market, which is very difficult to get the startups to find the people who can implement the AI within their budget cost. And also data privacy concerns is also one of the criteria where AI raises the data privacy concerns, and startups to be very careful about how to collect data and use data. Especially there are certain guidelines and compliances are there. For example, European data. If you are using any European national data, you are using you should be a GDPR compliant. That means you should not use their data for any other purpose. You are just going to collect the information for what purpose you are using. You have to take a consent from the customer and to store the data. And after a certain time, you have to purge the data on this one. So these kind of a data privacy concerns, you have to be extremely careful. And also a regulatory challenges. There are certain regulatory challenges that needs to be a startup needs to be aware of that one, which when you are using especially AI and especially you are dealing with the customer data, and you have to be very careful what kind of a regulatory challenges. Example is that GDPR is one of the example on this one. And there are certain statutory controls, and as well as it is a challenge to using a data on this one. And also there is one more important thing. Currently, what we are using as a tools like ChatGPT or Bot and these kind of AI-based tools, what we are using is it is still in a beta version. It is not in a mature version. It is still in a beta version, which is going to be come up in a long way to come up on this one. So it is still in evolving stage. For example, if you are using as a Google bot, which is released a week back, it is still fetching the information. Yes, it is fetching approximately 90% accuracy, 98% of accuracy. There are certain information about the personal information which is still needs to be revived. So that is the reason you would have been seen that one when you are using a bot or chat GPT, there will be a small, whether your response is, are you happy with the response, or if you're not happy with the response, tell us what is the right response, what is the feedback on this one. So the system is learning, still the tools are learning. So it is going to be evaluated. So still they are in the beta versions, and still the applications, what is supposed to be come up, which is not full-fledged, it is not evolved on this one, which is now coming up as a next version, which is Microsoft is coming up with the writing assistant with the collaborative tools, where you can just simply pass the command saying that one, I want to prepare a happy birthday presentation for my kids. Then automatically a PPT will be created, which is based on that your daughter's picture, which is reading from your OneDrive, and then it will create automatically a PPT will be created. Similarly, now Google is coming up with that, and Google is giving it to you as a completely from the Google's Drive, where it is Google Photos, it is identifying, and it will be putting into Google Slides. And this is a next version which is coming up already in the market, like which is about to come out, this one. And second thing, even if you would have been seen that in a last week, probably Sundar Pichai's keynote on that, which is saying that one, for example, he clearly said that in the Gmail earlier, what is that? It is slightly, it is populating a writing. What is the next one? Based on your previous word, whatever you are typing, it is appearing as a next word, it is appearing. Now, what is that? If you are giving a context, the email content itself will be created completely on this one. The email will be automatically pre-drafted version. It will be appear to you. You just need to modify and then you have to send it out on this one. So those kind of advancements, it is coming up. Even in terms of Excel, it is completely changing using AI tools. MS Word, it is different way altogether. The document, you don't need to do that one. It is automatically, it will be coming up citations, everything. For example, if you are writing a research paper and it is coming up with the completely including citations and everything. It is been highlighted and it will giving it to you a consolidated document on this one. That's where actually the AI is going to be revolving into the next stage on this one. And it is such a powerful technology that has the potential to revolutionize many industries, including startup. Especially if you are a startup, there are few things that you can do to get started with AI, including identifying the problems that AI can solve for your business and doing a research, especially and finding the right AI tools and solutions, building a team with the skills expertise. Okay, that's where actually that is the most important thing on this one. And what I can say is that startups can always get a benefit from the using AI for the automation tasks, improving decision making, and especially reducing costs. It will helpful for you to reduce the cost in terms of a human resources and in terms of a other costs also. It will be reduced where it is going to be unnecessary expense, whichever it is coming up. As a startup, you are extremely conscious on the cost perspective. And second thing, it will increases your efficiency and as well as it will improves your accuracy of this one. That's the most important on this one. So that's the overall part how AI can be used in terms of a startup's perspective. So I would like to hear others' experiences in terms of that one, how AI can be used in your like in your journey on this point. Anyone is having anything? Any questions, queries, anything on this one? Kailash, you have anything? You have any question? Gagandeep? Ajish? Vivek?
So
No
could you
questions
please,
from my side.
yeah, could you please tell me what is this in that AI you told AI is divided into two. One is data and other one is machine learning. And machine learning, you told two things: conceptual.
No, see, basically there is something called as a natural language processing will be there. Okay. Which is nothing but of an NLP, where it is going to be giving you the voice to text. Okay, how you are just text to voice. Okay, these are the things. Like for example, you might be hearing that one, like a voice will be just if you are dictating something on this one, it will automatically coming up as a text. Or if you are passing a text and you will be having a different voices you will be hearing, right? For example, if you are having a product and you want to have a voiceover, you can always use these kind of things. Like if you pass the script using NLP, then you will get a voiceover with different modulations, like different modulations, different accent, and as well as different kind of emotions also it is included on this one. That is called as a NLP, natural language processing. These are the one of the things. And there are certain things in AI part. It's a different kind of models are available in AI. For example, BERT model, which is going to be talking about more of advanced AI part on this one. And whereas nearest neighborhood algorithms, which is nothing but of, if you are asking one question based on that linking to another one, it will be appearing on this one. That is called as a nearest neighborhood. There are different models are available. Sentiment analysis, where it will be helpful for especially how the mood of the company is available. Like for example, surveys and all these kind of things, they will be using sentiment analysis. These are the different kind of models are available on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, hi Aneel. Actually, Gagandeep Singh this side.
Yeah.
Right. So actually, I'm a software engineer myself. Right. Just got interested actually how the AI power of the AI can be leveraged in making the best use of the available tools or any kind of startups. Right.
Yeah.
Now, as actually it got very much clear that you are from Talent Spotify, the HR, right? So I really got interested in knowing one thing exactly. That suppose the usage of AI can be, leveraged to do something based on resumes, the scanning of the actual scanning of resumes, the actual scanning of keywords, all right, actually out of the CV, out of the resume, right, and thus the appropriate profile and the candidates can be appropriately selected actually depending upon the exact requirements actually by the client, right? So this exact matching criteria can be fulfilled appropriately by the AI, right?
Correct. See, it is not 100%. Of course, this is not related to my product. That
Right,
is
right.
about the recruitment. Especially in the recruitment, yes, you are right. For example, resume parsing is one of the way. Okay, but resume parsing was there in just since long. I almost like as a last 10 years onwards, it was there. Resume parsing on this one. But what is currently which is coming up AI capabilities where it is leveraging on this one? Based on the skill set of the resume parsing, what it will do is it will give you as a ranking based, like out of you have 1,000 resumes, out of 1,000 resumes, and resume pass it, and it will suggest you what is the best resume out of that, what is the best profile suitable to that job description.
Right, right. So actually, so actually, my question was actually just appropriately on the actually on the startup side. So if suppose I'm just making a use of a plugin called actually the WordPress plugin, right? So actually, just with the advent of ChatGPT, we have actually, I mean, we are already seeing WordPress plugins, so many in abundance, right? Coming up. May I have a minor hint? Right, can actually would we be using any cloud-based services for that? Let's say AWS SageMaker or something, which is especially specialized for the machine learning things.
Correct.
So, are there any cloud service hosted for just supporting the AI stuff?
See, there is a SageMaker is what you rightly said is Amazon's one. Okay, SageMaker is one thing. Another one is SageMaker, but especially in the machine learning part. Okay, it cannot be. In this there is one more is there. I saw that when in Azure I have seen that one. One of the capability, I forgot the name of the tool immediately, it's not coming up. One is there in the Azure as one of the services available. Okay, even in Amazon also it is available, right? AWS is also, it is having as one of the tools, I forgot that one name. That is also it is available, which will helpful for you to parsing the data on this one to identify the keywords, and it will give you on this one. That is also available. If you want, I can just give you as a DM to you on this one. What are the services available on this one? I'll put it into the group on this one. I have the list on this one. Sometime back, I have just whatever the parsing kind of is, whatever the services which is available for the open APIs that I have made it as a list. I will share with you later on this one.
Right. Thanks.
I do have that list. Actually, I have maintained for that one. Because we have a similar requirement for that. What are the actually AI services which is going to be costed and which is not costed? Then we have divided in such a way that one. If I have that list, then I will share with you on the group on this one. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Any queries? Anyone is having anything? Okay, then we can wind it up for this week, and probably next week we will be coming up with a different session, and then we will meet you there in the next week. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for your time on Sunday to give me.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.